Welcome, Spartans, to Mission Debrief. We're playing every mission of the mainline Halo video game series in chronological order, discussing our experiences and sprinkling in a little lore along the way. If you'd like to play along and have your thoughts read on the show, email us at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. We'll be playing the Assault on the Control Room mission from Halo Combat Evolved on the next episode. This episode, we're debriefing the Silent Cartographer from Halo Combat Evolved. I'm your host, Colin Perkins, alongside Oren DeMang.
Hey, guys.
And Krista Brown.
What is a Silent Cartographer?
Well, we'll find out later in the show. Actually, I don't know if we ever will. So on the last mission, Chief rescues Captain Keyes, who's being held captive on a Covenant ship. There's a whole lot of other stuff that happens, so you have to go back and listen to that episode if you haven't already. This mission, Chief and a squadron of Marines storm a beach in search of a map room that will help them locate the Halo's control room. Along the way, our favorite Spartan gets to drive another Warthog, shoots a gaggle of aliens, and gets to have some fun with a rocket launcher along the way. The date of the game, so it's the next day, finally. We've made it to the next day, September 20th. Master Chief gets his work in. It's all, we consolidate
this whole event,
our missions.
really, is like he's working overtime.
He's working hard. Yeah, he's sweating in that suit of his. September 20th, 2552. So yeah, we start off on the beach. This is our Omaha beach storming against all the aliens that are already in pursuit of this control room. I love the beginning of this mission because I love Foe Hammer, and I love the intro that she gives you, the little touchdown, hit it, boys. She's fantastic, and the music is upbeat right away. Oren, drop me some knowledge. How did you feel coming out in this mission?
First I want to say hey, what's up to everyone on the show. It's my first appearance. Been a long time Halo fan, a lot of fun, and so I'm really looking forward to playing more of these missions and stuff. And I like how this is kind of the first mission that I've played in the classic Halo era and quite a while, and so it was nice to go back into it because this is a pretty iconic mission, I'd say. If you had to ask any person who knows just a little bit about Halo, some part of this level would probably come up, and so because of that, it is because there's just so many elements that you can do in this mission, a lot like the last mission as well. But
it's easy to kind of reference too. I love that beach mission, right?
It's very isolated in that way to where you go to this new location and you are able to drive around the whole little island, and then you're going to different structures inside and discovering where you got to go, and then the door is locked and you're like, well, crap, and then you move around and just continue discovering parts of the island, and then it just continues to encapsulate what the first game's a lot about, is kind of figuring out what this structure is. So we've gotten a lot of that in the second mission and then a little bit in the next. And so this one just kind of continues that and continues the cadence throughout the game. So I think that's one of the reasons why this is such a, I guess, highly, accoladed or talked about mission. The storming the beach is always good fun, and it's kind of like a war story trope, and kind of claiming the beach and then setting up. You don't really set up camp, but you kind of get that sense, and then you just kind of go out. And
there's layers to the mission too, kind of like what you're saying is start on the beach. Do the beach thing, and then you do some climbing, and then you go in some buildings, and then you go down into the depths. So there's actually, I forgot about kind of the tail end of the mission, how far down you climb. It's
my gosh. I always get lost at that part.
Yes.
It always makes me so mad. I'm like, God damn it, I just want to get to the map.
Halo in general, I feel like this game in particular, get lost a lot.
I know. I've gotten better with most missions, like Pillar of Autumn's fine. The library is usually fine because they added the arrows, but it's just the silent cartographer. I can never find my way to the silent cartographer.
See, I have a hard time always leaving because I try to take the path that you're supposed to take out, but because you can like jump over different things with like gravity to get to the map room is always, I find, a little easier. And then you're trying to be like, oh well, crap, I can't go up this wall, so like now you get turned around, and then because even coming at it from a different angle, it doesn't look the same, so it is a little on the confusing side, but it's part of kind of the discovery and how everything is so foreign. I was playing on the classic graphics. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, nice.
And I don't remember if they put any other visual indicators in the updated ones like they did on the librarian level.
They had some lights.
No, they did
here
it
and
for the
there.
silent cartographer.
I think some of the doors might have had lights. I switch back every once in a while just to kind of see. I think actually on the beach, I like looked at the wall, or I guess the rocks, and there was like this very well designed. It looked like a hatch in the side of the wall, and I'm like, I wonder what that looks like in the old graphics, and it was very basic in the old graphics. So it is fun to be able to kind of flip back and forth.
Well, and the skybox is so well done in the new graphics. There's actually like little islands out there, and there's some weather. And when you switch to the old graphics, it's just flat sea of nothingness.
Barren
Yep.
waterscape. But
And let's talk about some cool stuff. So Oren, tell me about the weapons that you use when you're playing this mission. We haven't really talked about that at all yet. What's your go-to? Do you use pistol? Are you an assault rifle guy?
Well, I really like kind of like ranged weapons and kind of the more modern games. So when I'm playing this, I really like the pistol because it's the Halo 1 pistol.
Yes!
You can't really beat that in this game. So I do lean a lot towards that in most of the missions, but for whatever reason, specifically in Silent Cartographer, I almost exclusively use it unless I'm in like a heap. And I think it's mainly because it's so satisfying to kill those hunters in one shot.
Yes.
And like I just feel like a boss when all I need is 2 bullets because it's just pow pow.
Well, it's good for like because especially on the beach in a lot of spots, but it's good for range, and then it's also good for mid range too. So it's actually a perfect weapon for the beach.
Yeah, and even storming like the hills with like rocks and trees, it's like it's such a versatile weapon in this game, and like I said, I don't know what it is, but it's just I just want to use it more. Now for like other missions,
Oh, it's completely overpowered as well.
True. And it was funny because like you pick up the rocket launcher, which later in the mission, and I found myself like, oh, I'm shooting this guy with a pistol, and I had this rocket launcher in the back pocket the whole time.
Actually, speaking of the rocket launcher, I mean, we don't get it for a while, but can you go backwards in the mission? Have you guys ever tried that? Because it's just a big circle, right?
Yes.
I don't think the Pelican populates if you go backwards and you try to go there first. I don't think the rocket's there. I think the Pelican crashes and then it populates on the map.
Gotcha.
Though it's been a while since I tried it, so maybe that's how it works.
I wonder if it's there before you even go down. Like even if you go through the mission linearly, it may not spawn till after the cutscene when you actually activate
there's a couple cutscenes,
the map room. So I wasn't paying attention to see where that might be, but I can see it hidden that way if that's the case.
That makes sense. So let's see here. We're going to find. So we could talk about the closed door thing, right? So you kind of go up through the little alleyway thing or whatever it is, and
corridor.
Then, yeah. Well, I guess you find the structure, right? So you hop on the warthog. Oh, we haven't talked about the warthog yet because I got another quote from Fohammer. Did somebody order a warthog?
Yeah.
You know our motto: we deliver.
Oh, I love that. She's great. All of her quips are amazing.
Yeah. Very good. So then we'd have some more warthog fun, and then we find the structure, and then kind of obviously clear out the area, and then hop down, and you stop short, right? Because you think you're going to go in and find something, but then the door just closes right away.
Well, you gotta remember the most important part is before the door closes, you throw as many grenades as possible into the door.
Or if you're going
And can
for
you
that
kill that
speedrun
the white elite?
You mean the gold one, the one with the sword?
He was white on my game. I don't know.
Is he
He looked
white?
white to me.
Yeah, you can kill him before the door closes. The cutscene where he walks out of the door still plays, but then he's not there when you go back.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fun to do the grenades. And then you actually kind of have to... You don't have to stand there, I guess. But then they have a long kind of dialogue back and forth about trying to figure out, okay, what do we do next? Now we got to go override. Let's go do some overriding. So
have you guys... well, real quick about this door. Have you guys done the warthog glitch where you can... Or not, yeah, I guess it is a glitch where you can jump through the door before it closes? For like the
no,
the
I
speed
haven't.
run. Like to hardcore speed run this mission, you drive your warthog all the way down, and then when you go down there, you drift and do a hard hard right. So then the driver's seat is facing the door, and then as you pop out, it pushes you through the doorway before it closes, and then you essentially skip the whole other part of the mission. And so you can speed run this mission in like 5 minutes.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah,
Holy shit,
it's pretty crazy. So a lot of good restarts.
Does all the covenants do they spawn too, like on the way out? Afterwards, do you know?
Don't remember, but I think they do. I don't know. I haven't done it in a while.
Hit the button.
Yeah, I think what it is when because if you go to the right and activate that cutscene where he like kicks the rock down, maybe that might trigger and like resync the game. But if you're on the other side, you may get there before everyone spawns, and then after the cutscene, maybe they're populated there on the way out. But on the way down, maybe not. I'm not 100% sure though. I don't really remember, but I just remember being frustrated as trying to practice that drift over and over again.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I've done it a few times. But it was mainly to get the speedrun achievement, and so I would go, and then after I would spend like 3 minutes not getting it, I would then just restart the mission.
Oh my god.
But it's pretty good. I'll send you guys a YouTube clip.
I like it. Nice. Yeah, I mean that's a great thing about Halo games is that there's, it's a linear game. It's a big sandbox, and then there's a lot of stuff that you can break.
Yeah.
And it's you can have a lot of fun doing that along the way. So you get back so we hop back in the Warthog and just kind of we're just traveling around this island counterclockwise, and then we'll see there's a crashed Warthog that we get some goodies in along the way, and then we kind of get to this little hill area with some rocks, a bunch of elites and grunts, and the other good thing about this mission is you can just run past a bunch of this stuff, so you can decide to fight if you want, or you can just say, nah, peace out, I'm gonna go up the hill. And then at the top is once you make it through, and I think there's some jackals in there, right? And then you get to the top, and there's just two hunters just chilling, just waiting for you. And a big old structure right there. Do you guys ever make out what that structure is? It's just something, I don't know,
I can't make out with like what each of the structures are, because the other one has like a weird saucer like on it. It's really strange, the second one. So I mean, they're both kind of strange looking. I think it's just the graphics at the time, but I don't know.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, to kind of jump ahead to the end of the mission where you actually descend down, when the camera holds looking back up, it looks like it just kind of slid underneath the surface and then just kind of slides back. So I don't know exactly how it kind of works, because it doesn't look like there's like it almost looks like it floats away and then floats back. But in terms of what purpose does it serve aside from just the doorway to the sewer system or whatever?
Right.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I mean, the outside looks pretty interesting, I'd say, but structurally it is a little puzzling.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's supposed to be alien, right? So
yeah.
So then we have a terminal here, and we'll talk about the terminal later. But it's a long terminal. It's a super long terminal.
Yeah, it is a pretty long terminal.
So the little, grab that little yellow glowing thing in there. And then then you can continue up and then make it down into the structure. And this is where I noticed, at least, I'm sure there were before, but I noticed the purple pods. They're just kind of plopped around everywhere. Do you guys...
like the like in later games they're weapon pods, but for
Yeah.
this it looks like a control monitor or something. Because some of the Covenant, like later in the mission, are actually like typing on it, like it's a computer.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
But it's never explained.
Yeah,
what
It's never
it
really
is.
explained, right?
Yeah,
It
some
was
side
just
of
kind of
module.
alien. Right.
It's got like antenna on it and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're more or less just to make to diversify the mission a little bit, but
The first and last time we see those in a game.
right. And then let's see, where are we now? Then we made it past the hunters, and then we're starting to go down to the structure, and then we find a panel to hit. Right. We got to make it all the way down to the room, the override room. And then we do get to, and then that's where we get that cutscene, and then the elite does pop out, right?
Yeah, it's just a cutscene of the door opening and the elite walking out. I wish that if you killed the elite, the doors open and it's just like his corpse lying on the floor. That would have been great, but
yeah. And he's got the sword, right? And it's a pretty badass looking suit of armor too.
I think it's the Zealot armor from Halo Reach.
Oh, okay, yeah. Did they?
Except it's gold.
Halo Reach would have been out, so
yeah, this was after Reach was.
Yeah, so the anniversary. I didn't flip back to the other graphics, so I didn't look at the old cutscene armor, but I'm sure it looked cool too.
Oh, with the sword elite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's just a
I
gold
think it's
suit
just
of
a
armor.
gold skin basically, but I don't think the armor is any different. Not that I noticed.
Yeah, the old elite models, they're all the same suit of armor, they're just different colors.
Yeah. That makes sense. And then, right here is where we get the bandana skull. Oren, do you get the bandana skull ever?
I have, yes. Where you have the grenade jump on top, right?
Yep.
Yes. I'm terrible at grenade jumps. It's my worst. I hate when
I'm really bad at it,
skulls,
too.
terminals, and achievements require me to grenade jump, because what it is because every game has a different like grenade physics and like grenade timer. So like when you throw a sticky grenade in Halo 1, it takes like 3 years for it to blow up. Whereas in other games, it doesn't. But yeah, bandana skull's a lot of fun when you kind of turn it on those like bigger missions like assault in the control room and
It's a great skull to
The
have.
library.
Yeah,
because it's unlimited ammo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
So if you're not familiar, you push the button, to do the override, and then there's a couple, I guess, entry or exit ways out onto to the outside of the structure, and then far in the distance you can see something, a little dot, and I don't know why they decided to do that, put the skull way over there. But they must have known that grenade jumping was a thing, and they wanted to give people a challenge. So, what you do is you essentially just stick a grenade, usually a plasma grenade, so it kind of sticks in that one spot, and then you kind of run and time it so that as you're jumping over it, it explodes, and then the physics will take you up into the roof. Then you run down and grab that skull, and then there's another fun way, Krista.
The easy way.
The easy way.
It is much easier. So, where the bandana skull is the exact corridor that you use to enter the room. So all you gotta do is just grab a friend, and one of you go out onto the little windows in the corridor and just inch yourself out as far as you can onto the ledge of that window. And then your friend just kills himself until he respawns on top of your head. And then he just jumps up and grabs it. It's perfect. It's way better.
Wow.
It's
just
the better
like they
way
designed
to do it.
That's
it's
good.
great, because if your companion doesn't have anywhere on land to spawn, they'll just spawn literally on your head. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that makes sense. Hey, gotta take advantage if it's an option.
Is there a second skull on this level too, on one of the like mounds?
Yeah, famine.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet. I don't think.
Oh, sorry.
But no,
That's
it's
when
fine.
we exit.
Yeah, it's soon.
I thought it was
didn't put it down in my notes. I forget to get it too. So, anyway, so we grab that bad boy and then head out. Do you guys know if you can turn the skulls on mid-mission, or does that?
No, you cannot.
Okay, so you have to wait to use the bandana skull.
Yeah.
Well, and since it's Master Chief Collection, you have all the skulls unlocked when you first start up the game.
That's true. So this
it's
is
not
just
like the
achievement.
original CEA where you had to collect them to be able to use them.
Mm-hmm. This is just for that sweet, sweet achievement pop.
Yeah.
And then, so then we head back out and we can run past the hunters that were waiting for us originally. And then they also added some stealth elites, and you can kill them, or you don't have to. You can just keep running. Head back down the hill, and then they actually do a drop ship with some jackals. And I think that was kind of a sticking point for me on Legendary, this kind of back down the hill area. I don't know if you guys played it. What are you playing on, Oren? Are you playing a heroic? Or?
I was playing on heroic.
Okay. Was that a sticking point for you at all, or did you make it down clean?
No, I made it down pretty well. Heroic's kind of my go-to difficulty, so I kind of handle it pretty well. And but yeah, there's a few times where I kind of have to just take a cover because I'd rather save my health in CE in case I need it later, I guess. But yeah, overall for me, it was just pretty straightforward. Not easy, I'd say, but a good fight.
So Cortana here says that she orders in some heavy weapons because of all the hunters that she's seen. And shortly afterwards, once you kind of get back out to the beach and continue going counterclockwise, you find a crashed pelican with a rocket launcher, which is great. And I love this rocket launchers. It feels so good.
See, I never actually walk down the hill. I grab one of the overshields and I just jump off the structure straight to the pelican.
Is that not what you're supposed to
guess.
do? Are you supposed to
I don't
walk?
know. That's what I always do.
That's why, because I actually had that thought when I was.
I guess because there's a bunch of overshields right there, aren't there? In that
yeah.
Because
so I always just grab an overshield and jump.
Yeah, I grabbed an overshield and I was looking for the ramp down, and I was like, "Is there not a ramp here? Are you supposed to just jump down? Is that why they give you the overshield?"
Probably, actually.
Because I was thinking about it, because it's well, obviously the weapons are there. Cortana just said that to you, so you're inclined to go to that specific point. But if you were to walk all the way back, you'd be on the other side of the island. So
that's what I always do. I always walk around.
Oh man, I guess
no, I just jump right down.
You gotta join us, Colin.
Man, dang, bonsai.
Go straight to the pelican and get your rocket launcher and your warthog.
And the warthog, that's
and
right.
your skull.
And your skull, yeah, the skull's there right above it.
Oh, jeez, it's so much more efficient. I should
I
just
know.
play with you guys. Stop playing alone.
You're adding an extra 5 minutes that are not needed.
Could be doing other things with that 5 minutes. Is this the Spanker rocket launcher? Do you guys recall, or is
yes,
that
it is.
different? Okay, this is the Sweet Spanker then. Yeah,
I think they're
feels so good when he loads.
they're always the Spanker except for 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5 was the first one to not have the Spanker rocket launcher for whatever reason, but then they added it as a legendary weapon.
That's right. It feels so good loading this bad boy up.
The clunky nature of it is just oof. You just feel so powerful.
And you could throw one rocket at Hunter was killing him for me. That's a normal though, so I'm sure it's not the same on heroic.
I'm not sure because my hunter killing weapon of choice is the pistol.
That's true.
But they're actually
oh my god, a hunter one pistol shot. Oh.
There were actually a few red elites survived a rocket blast. I don't know if I wasn't shooting right at its feet or something, but or maybe because I was shooting at its feet and not at its person, it might have didn't absorb everything. But I'd just switch and just 2 shots or just give it 2 rockets on heroic. So I can see a hunter withstanding a rocket blast.
Let's see here. Now, where are we? So we go back. Essentially, we go back to the closed door from here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we head back around. I just kind of keep driving around in the big old circle. You get back in there.
Well, it's also cool if you save some of your Marines too. They're actually still standing there. In the beginning,
really?
So you can go and grab
from the original.
If enough of them are alive.
Yeah, well, and they were all there for me because I put it in normal, and they all survived that.
Yeah, I guess they're just waiting. No, I guess Chief will just do the mission. We'll just hang out.
Yep, exactly. All right, well, where'd you go? All right.
Where did Chief go? Oh, we'll just stay here till he comes back. I'm not going in there.
So we finally get to go behind the door, and then that's where we talked about the cutscene where he kicks down the rock, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's such a random cutscene, but it adds so much ambience to the rest of the level.
Yeah, I really like it because of actually how like the end of the mission is when you actually take your whole ship kind of down there. Not there specifically, but when you start advancing to the next mission, it's like a good sort of like I guess foreshadowing, but like it just introduces the idea of just how vast of a network this Halo is, and just all the intricacies of it. So yeah, it's a very nice mood scene that's not required, which is cool.
And then
also in the CE graphics or the CEA graphics, it's actually a grunt mask, which I thought was a nice touch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it looked like a mask. I didn't go back and watch it, but it looks like
it's like their respirator.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a nice little touch. I forgot about that.
So we start descending down, 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 down
into the labyrinth.
I think they do a good job of making it interesting descent. And like at one point you can kind of go up a little bit, and then there's some structures, and then there's kind of some ramps on the sides, but you essentially kind of circle your way all the way down.
And they have the cool music going.
Well, the cool music.
And if you're me, it's the cool music going. Am I going the right way? No. There's no enemies here. Am I going this way? It's like da 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 da. I'm just like wandering around, wondering where to go. It's really funny. Yeah. It makes me even more mad, actually.
Just kind of inching towards the door. Is that door going to open? Let's see how close I can get before it opens. Oh, yeah, it opens. Okay, this is the way I'm supposed to go. And then you keep going down. And then I do like this cutscene where when you finally get to the cartographer, and you smack the button, and then it has the Halo kind of. What?
It does look like he smacks it. He just hits it with his entire hand.
The Halo, like the press X to do something. Like it's just all about just smacking something.
He's just smacking a projection.
Yeah, push the one button and make it happen. But I like how it almost looks like a puzzle piece or something like that, right? It's kind of
it like sections it apart and shows you like objects on each of the sections.
And so then Cortana essentially says that she's located the control room, which is what you're looking for based off that. But now we got to get out. And there's a bunch of radio chatters. All your Marines are saying, "Oh no, there's more Covenant! Watch out!" And then they all eventually die. But you got to find your way back up to the Pelican dropship, and that's where the guitar starts in. It feels so good when the guitar Halo
the electric
song.
guitar.
Yeah. Then you just start blowing stuff up, and it's great.
If you have that rocket launcher still.
Oh yeah,
that's where I realized
I got the bandana skull on. I have rocket launcher for days.
Yeah, it was at that point where I remembered I had the rocket launcher, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I could use this thing and just blow my way out."
So you pair rocket launcher with pistol? Is that how you do it?
That's how I did it on this level.
That's what I did too. I just had a pistol and a rocket launcher. That's kind of usually
what I do. I have whatever power weapon the map kind of gives, and then the pistol, and then. On other playthroughs, I'll have the plasma rifle, because if I need especially on like legendary, to burn the energy shields, and then do a quick switch for the headshot.
So you make your way back up. You get lost on the way down. You get lost on the way up. Whatever.
There's a lot of getting lost in this level.
Yes,
it's real bad.
Yep. But you eventually do make it back up, and Bungie decides to give you 3 stealth elites to kill as well.
Oh, they die in like 2 shots.
Yeah, that's true.
We also had stealth elites earlier in the mission.
Yeah, they were down there.
But that was nice. Is this the first time were there stealth elites before? Oh no, there's stealth elites in Truth and Reconciliation.
Yeah.
So yep.
Yeah, there are. There are a lot of them. I think that's the first time you see stealth elites is when they have swords in Truth and Reconciliation.
When you first get on a ship.
Floating swords.
Just the goofy ass you can't see me except for this huge glowing sword I'm holding.
And my violent scream before I charge.
Right.
Yeah. Raw! Oh, there he is.
I love the elite, just the screams, the dying.
Raw!
Yeah, it's so good.
The sound effects in this game were hilarious. Even the grunts with their heavy breathing and stuff is hilarious.
So 4 full hammers at the top, and you get a hop in, and Cortana talks about her line is, "The last thing the Covenant would expect is an aerial insertion underground."
She says it so matter-of-factly, too. She's like, the last thing the Covenant will expect was an aerial insertion from underground. You're like, okay, Cortana, thanks.
All right, cool. But, it is the last... who would expect that? I wouldn't.
Apparently not the Covenant.
Not the grunts that were guarding that door.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the next mission, Orin. You're getting ahead of us.
Oh, okay.
Jeez. This isn't Mission 5.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's a good mission, though. I can't wait.
What else do we want to talk about? Let's see. We're going to do Terminal here in a second, but anything that we missed? Highlights?
I know I've been talking about this for the last couple of episodes, but I did, in fact, look up the energy sword from this game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called the Type 1 energy sword, and this is the only time it's ever been in a Halo game, and when the Sangheili wielding it drops it, it disables the magnetic field that keeps the plasma in the shape. And so the plasma basically backfires and destroys the hilt, which causes the little explosion when they drop it. So
is that same technology used for the fuel rod cannons in this game as well?
We haven't gotten to the fuel rods yet,
okay.
Orin,
I'm sorry.
so I'm not ready to talk about that yet.
How do you guys do this? Not talk about everything.
God.
Oh,
Who
man.
It's really hard. I want to talk about, stuff that goes on later all the time.
I already brought up Halo 5. My goodness, I'm spoiling everything.
Remember when Locke did the thing?
Notes. Don't spoil anything.
No, but yeah, this is a great mission. It was like I said, it was very refreshing to just pop in the game and play it, and you just do a whole bunch of stuff. I think this and Truth and Wreck might be my favorite two missions from this game, just because you do so much. Yeah, I really like Truth and Wreck because you just you go in and save keys. You
do a lot.
You shove it to the Covenant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is a fun. This is a diverse mission as well, and those are usually the best missions in Halo. Should we do Terminal?
Yeah, we can do the Terminal real quick. This Terminal is really, really great. I like all the terminals, so every time I'm gonna say it's amazing. Sorry. I mean, this one's probably not at the top of the terminals, but it's riding in the middle. Gives you a backstory of Guilty Spark and how he's dealing with not doing anything for, at this point, it was only 3,000 years. So, 3,000 years since his last contact with the rest of the array. Mm-hmm. So we don't know exactly how long of a time in between firing the array and this point in history. But no one else is talking to him. He's all alone. He shuts down for a little bit. He does
he take a 150-year nap or something like that?
Basically, I mean, that's what I want to do. Life goals right there. He does talk about 2401 Penitent Tangent, which is a character we'll be seeing later in later Halo games. So it was really cool name drop because of, if you played the Halo series, you know what kind of happened in his ring. So he does say, oh man, I wonder what's going on with that guy. It seems like bad stuff's happening over there on Installation 05. But we also see some of the floody forms in this. Mm-hmm. We do see some, just one, just in the tube. Mm-hmm. Because one of Guilty Spark's duties as Keeper of a Halo is to run tests and try to find a possible cure for the Flood, which, of course, he kind of gives up after a while and is like, I don't have to do that anymore. I'm Guilty Spark.
Does he call it the Flood, or does he say specimen or something, or do they not even or is it basically I'm asking, is it more of a Easter egg for what's going to come later in the game, or are they just kind of flat out and say it? He says research activities.
Yeah, they haven't.
So in the same scene as the Flood, it's research activities.
Okay, so it's it's more subtle. All right.
Yeah. It's all the Flood stuff is very subtle. He mentions the Flood in the previous terminal when he's talking to the Covenant AI in Truth and Reconciliation. But at this point, if you were playing the game for the first time, you still wouldn't know exactly what the Flood was. But Guilty Spark goes to sleep, he wakes up, and he starts talking about, why am I bored? I'm a machine. And so he also makes a really interesting tidbit of information where he's talking about, I wonder if other monitors are experiencing the same feeling of boredom, or is it because of my particular path to this installation, which is referring to exactly how Guilty Spark became Guilty Spark, which is in the Forerunner books, which I tell you guys to read every single week.
Up on that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh man, is it? Oh, I can't wait till next.
Don't.
Actually, oh yeah, next week's gonna be great. I might have to be on next episode for more of the same.
Yeah.
And then it ends with him like doing some weird experiments on the Halo, like just blowing stuff up.
Yeah, he's so bored he just starts ejecting parts of the Halo into space for no reason. So
there wasn't a reason for that, right? Like I didn't.
No, there was no reason except for him to just watch the biological process as the Halo rebuilds itself.
Oh, okay.
Because he still has Sentinels on the ring to rebuild it, but he's just bored. He's bored as hell. He has no one to talk to. And then the transmission or the terminal ends with a sentient proximity warning and vessel incoming, and then just a flash on the ring, which we get into next time on the next episode of Halo 1 Terminals. What is this ship? I wonder if anyone's alive.
Dun dun dun.
Very nice. Let's do some community stuff and let's get out of here.
All right.
So we posted, we always post on Facebook or Twitter or your favorite social media platform. We got some responses on Facebook that Oren is going to read. We just had some fun with it this week.
Yes. So we asked, what's a silent cartographer? Wrong answers only. And so we got quite a few good ones. Devin Boge said, the thing that happens right after eating Taco Bell on a road trip.
Yep.
Yep, confirmed.
Yep, when you're the passenger, yeah.
And then there's just some dialogue, and George responded to that saying, I thought that was a wet tacographer or tacographer.
Oh, no.
And things are just getting real better. And then Devin clarifies, it says, no, that's actually right after eating gas station food because you've already passed all the fast food and you need to flood in all the hot sauce for flavor.
Yeah.
No.
So get that picture molded into your brain.
No.
Our good buddy Caleb, he said, literally me at work, or in regards to what is a silent cartographer, he says, literally me at work with my headphones in. I make maps for a living.
That was good. He's literally a silent cartographer.
Literally. So that's it. So Caleb, he's an Easter egg in the mission. Go find him.
Yep.
He is the silent cartographer. He's the button you mash.
And then our good guy Timothy Welsh, he says it's a silent fart that, based on the changing smell, gives bystanders a full map of the person's digestive system.
That's pretty good.
What?
And Tim also gave us on a more serious note about his sort of connection with the silent cartographer mission, and I guess this was the demo of the game once upon a time ago.
Yeah.
And so Tim said that
it was like the demo disc, right?
Yeah. I guess you played this mission, or at least part of it, if you had that physical disc back before downloadable demos.
I think I have the demo disc for Halo.
I think you do.
I think I have the one you get from Xbox Magazine. I will find it and I will post it on the group.
I think you do, because I think you mentioned at least something to that effect. But he said that he and his friend played the demo at least 100 times before they finally bought the game, which is just wow. But I mean, it's that kind of intoxicating of a mission. And then
it's a great intro mission if you're like, this is Halo 1.
It really is. And to kind of to go into that in more detail, Miles Dill, another active community member of ours, he gave his thoughts.
Oh, the guy who made the art.
Yes, he did make the art.
Oh, that guy.
That guy. Very big Halo fan. He's actually been on the show once or twice. And
the regular show.
The main
show.
Not this weird offspring.
And he says, so this is what he said about it. I think after several walkthroughs of different tactics in the game, corridor fightings and open maps and short intense battles, This mission rewards the player, or this game rewards the player with a mission that allows him to practice all of these different agencies and tactics. There's a plethora of enemies and vehicles with infantry combat as well. I think that this mission is the definitive experience for the game, as the rest of the game returns to each of these agencies and focuses in a more intense phase as each new encounter occurs. And then secondarily, it's a good show-off mission that encapsulates the soul of the overall narrative. And so
this Miles guy.
Is he a professor?
He sounds like a smart guy.
He's Halo.
I didn't realize we were asking for college essays now.
He's a scholar Halo, a Halo scholar. So,
yes,
I mean, you can't argue
I do
with what he
believe.
said.
Yeah, and I like what I think that he liked, what he said that. I mean, we kind of set it like for the demo, but like really this mission does, as he put it, encapsulates the soul of the narrative, where you are trying to find out the answer to a question, but there's a problem like this door closing. So
there's
then
a
now
literal door.
Now you have to go to this side mission while figuring out who these aliens are, and then you go back and then you find your answer, and then it leads to the next mystery to solve. And you just keep going down the rabbit hole, and quite literally keep going down into the Halo for future missions and stuff. So,
Wow,
boo!
It's
what are you
brilliant.
talking about? That was great. That was gold.
A+.
So thank you very much, Miles, and thank you for our other community members that wrote in, and keep an ear out and an eye out for our next week's post where we ask about your opinions on the assault on the control room mission.
So I'm going to ask you guys a serious question.
Okay.
I've never really understood what the hell the silent cartographer is. Can you guys explain it to me? Like, it sounds like a cool name. Is that it?
I think it's just is it the Forerunner name for the map?
Don't look at me. Where's
I'm pretty sure it's the Forerunner name for the map. We're
For
gonna
the
do
map
some
room in all of the
on-air.
Halos, or just this Halo?
I don't know. I'm gonna do some
You
on-air
do some-
research.
You do some Googling. But I've always, it's one of those things where it's like, does it just sound like a really cool name?
I
for
just-
a mission,
It
but
does
it's
sound
kinda
really
weird?
I mean, yeah, like
And not doesn't
how
mean
I
anything.
kind of interpreted it, just like in the back of my head, is that it's sort of a play on words where you're going to this isolated map room to find the map of the Halo to then take you to the control room, which in and of itself is kind of another map of Halo that kind of shows you how to activate it and all the different other points of interests. Because you know, I don't want to get too far ahead, but we do get more visualizations of the ring in future levels, and so I think the silent aspect of it is just the fact that it might be more isolated, and then Cartographer just kind of refers to that map room that you go in and kind of see, like we talked about. So that's kind of how I interpreted it, but if it is deeper than that, I would not be surprised.
So the silent cartographer is the Covenant's word for the map room.
Covenant's word, okay.
So it might be either a mistranslation between Covenant talk and human talk, or it might be a mistranslation that the Covenant often do when reading Forerunner text. So it could be either of those, or it could literally just be the translation of what the Forerunners do call this facility. Because the Forerunners like to call things really weird. Like, I mean, their names are like Born Stellar Makes Eternal Lasting. That is a name.
That's one
That is
person's
someone's name. That is someone's actual name.
And actually, now that I think about it, I want to say there's Cortana mentions that, or I guess she mentions that in the beginning of the level, or does she mention that at the end of the last level? Where
End of
like
the last
She
one,
mentions
says.
it at the beginning or at the end of the last level, which is Truth and Reconciliation. Like, they're searching for something called the Silent Cartographer, or the Map Room to Halo. or something.
right in the beginning she said, it's literally the first line, the Covenant believe that what they call the Silent Cartographer is somewhere under the island, and say that it's a map room. So, and
keep in mind that there are like a religious, zealot group of beings, whatever, and so that kind of fits in with their vernacular, I guess, and their beliefs.
Yeah.
As if they believe that there is an entity on this island that tells them all about the halo geographically.
Right, but it's silent.
It's silent.
It's very quiet. Well, maybe it's because it doesn't actually talk, because it's just a map.
Yep, that's a good point. All right.
Maps
All right, enough
don't
of that.
talk.
That's enough. Sorry I asked. Let's end this.
No, it's good. We all learned something, and look at that.
I think, that was good speculation.
Our brains all got a little bit bigger today.
Added an extra wrinkle to your brain.
Oh, good.
All right, that will do us. Do it for our debriefing of the Silent Cartographer from Halo Combat Evolved. On the next episode, we'll be covering the mission Assault on the Control Room. Send us your thoughts at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved. Until next time, evolved.
Evolved.
Good luck editing this, David.